And welcome to an extra special episode of the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Hey.
How's it going, guys?
We got video this time, maybe.
So this one we are recording, and we have a special guest.
Who that?
Super special.
And so it's Heather, but it's super special because she's actually here in person.
In person.
This is our
Live.
first in-person interview and our first video.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of firsts in this one.
I know.
Yeah, and you might hear some chuckling in the back. That's Bud because he's here.
Right.
He's just on the couch.
He's on baby duty.
So you won't see him.
He's on involuntary baby duty.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Well, we should first probably talk about like everything we did this weekend and the surprise for anybody who didn't see the video, which they probably have by this time.
Right.
But
I was going to say most of our listeners.
and then we're gonna talk about our favorite like apps that we use that somehow play into our laser stuff, down to like photo editing, box makers, whatever. And then she's gonna briefly touch on Procreate stuff, the app that we use to draw on, and her like favorite like things that actually will translate to to podcasting, because most of her tutorials are obviously like video showing.
Yeah.
So
I could talk about them, but like most of the time in Procreate, like you'll want to see.
Right.
So, like
It's
I try
very
and
visual.
explain it like
Yeah.
visually as visually as I can.
well, but even just mentioning that it's possible, then someone will know, oh, I want to go look
Right.
up, because that's something that would be helpful. You know what I mean? So
this is funny. You guys are both wearing Riley Black Project. Riley
yeah,
Black
you're
t-shirts.
wearing Lobo.
And I'm wearing Lobo because I saw you came in with a Riley
She's
Black
wearing
shirt.
the new one. I can't
Right.
find mine for some reason. I have an extra one. I'm trying not to like take it from my cell stash.
I could have sworn you were going to wear a Lobo shirt. But when I saw you came in with that, I'm like, well, someone's got to represent Lobo. So,
Right.
Because we're doing video today.
Yeah.
But, man, and can I just say, it was hard to keep the secret of you coming in.
Yeah, so how long, let's talk about that part, because
It's
this is new to me. How long have you known? Like,
Man.
when did you book it?
So before she booked it, I knew. Because remember the first time where I'm like, oh, so you know she's coming?
Yeah.
And you're like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, oh, crap, I think I messed it up.
Yeah.
Because it was that long.
Really?
It's been in the works that long. Because she
Oh,
told
man.
me, I'm planning to come down to see all the girls and this and that. When do
Yeah.
you think? And, it was kind of like the beginnings of it.
Okay, yeah.
I hadn't actually
Well, I knew
picked,
that
like, a
part.
date. Yeah.
Yeah, so she reached out to me on Messenger and was like, oh, I'm planning to come out to
It
surprise
was only like
everybody.
3 weeks ago.
Huh?
Oh, that you,
3
No,
weeks
no,
ago.
that was a
booked
while
it.
ago.
No, I meant that we
Yeah.
actually booked.
Yeah.
But that was like, well, because that was, I think, when I first messaged you, it was back right before the baby shower, because I was going
Right.
to try and be
Right,
down
that's
here.
right. You were gonna come.
And then
she was gonna
flight
try to make
airfare
it.
was
Right.
like
yeah, no, you had told me about
7,
that
8,
afterwards, yeah.
Yeah. So and then it got like. she's
Which
like,
this is better anyway, because then I couldn't drink and
Well,
like,
that's what I
Right,
said to him.
right,
I was like,
yeah.
it's better if it's.
Well,
which
she
I told her that
actually,
from the
like, hang
beginning.
out.
She
Like,
mentioned that you'd probably want to be able to drink with her. and
well, I
everything.
straight up told her.
Right.
I was like, I know you're kind of like thinking of this, and like, can we please do it for after?
Yeah, but-
because let's not do it when I'm pregnant and miserable.
Yeah, but the whole thing was like, it was weird because she would like our text wouldn't be one or two, so it'd be like multiple texts. So if I'm sitting there on the couch next to you, I
Right.
have to turn my ringer off. Because like
Well,
if I
and
text
his,
my brother,
his phone never goes off.
Well,
And
that's so what the one
his
day I was
phone
like
is
messing with him. He was like, I gotta mute my phone. He was like, because she's gonna look over and be
Right.
like, who are
Yeah,
you
because if
talking
his
to?
phone is constantly going off, I'm like, who is that?
Who's that?
Like,
Right.
it's just out of curiosity, because he never
because-
really talks to anybody
Right.
on his phone like that.
if my
So-
brother or my best friend,
Yeah.
it's always like one or two texts,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's it.
Because if he does, then that
But-
means something's going on. I'm like,
Right.
what's happening?
Right. So we were trying.
Tell
we
me
were-
more.
Yeah, we
Right.
were trying to plan it. She was like, "I'm coming in. Listen, let me know when's a good time."
Yeah.
And then what was gonna happen this weekend? Oh, you told me about JR going to Mindy's
Oh,
to
right.
see the
Which
police car.
that's-
I understand, but
Yeah.
that was something. I'm like, well, we're probably not gonna do that if you come in and like how depending on how
Yeah.
that is. So I was like, what time are we going? Because you were coming in super early for us, like 11:15.
Yeah.
Is when
Yeah.
we were landing. So that could give us enough time to have like breakfast and
Yeah.
like hang out and I like buy time. And sure enough, I had to buy time.
Yeah.
And we're sitting extra close to the
Yeah, sorry.
AC this time, so that's what kept me in.
Extra white noisy in the background.
right. So yeah, it was hard to keep the secret because we talk about everything.
Yeah.
So it was extra hard.
And the
keep.
part about how you forgot and she freaked out.
I didn't. I wasn't aware. Like I thought we had another week. So she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm coming in Saturday." I'm like, "What?"
He said, "This Saturday, question mark?" And I was like, "Yes, John, this Saturday, the 31st."
And it's one of those things like you know the date, but you don't realize that it's
Yeah,
like
you don't connect
tomorrow.
it, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, that's the 26th.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the
Yeah.
26th is tomorrow. Like,
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
that was,
like that meme that I sent you earlier. It was like, did you see it? It says like August already. It's like September. You better get your Halloween
it's so
costume.
true.
Happy New
Oh,
Year.
yeah, I
it
saw that.
escalates so
Yeah.
quick from here. Like, it's
It just-
quite dramatic.
Yeah.
It happens so fast.
Right? Well, and especially with what we do, like we had said today at Mindy's house, we had joked about like preparing for the holidays or something, and her husband Nick was like, "The holidays already, like calm down," and we're like, "Not in our industry. Like now you gotta like get on that
It's
stuff
time,
because like if you're a big like Christmas holiday seller, you start now.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
And if you're really big, you start in January. You may adjust throughout the year, especially if like a new
Well, that
trend
and like
comes
I
up.
want to do limited holiday stuff this year. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows I don't like making things.
Right.
So
Same.
I'm definitely. I think I told you this year. I think I'm just gonna sell gift certificates ahead of time, and if you don't have a gift certificate, you don't get to order from me. So that way,
As
I'll
far as, like,
know,
oh,
physical-
like super VIP.
Yeah.
yeah. Did that turn off?
So our camera died
So the camera died and we
because
had
this is
to,
the first time.
yeah. So we
we're
had to
doing
swap
this.
cameras.
Yeah.
So
I'll continue my story.
That's why it's a little. I'm a little less in it now, but it's okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I was saying that my like friend of a friend wanted this like real estate thing to hold his, because he's a new real estate agent, and he wanted this thing to hold his business cards, and it was either like wood or MDF and kerf, which neither of which were desirable to me at this
Right.
point. And so I was like, oh, I was like, I'm not doing very many physical items, items like that. Doing mostly acrylic and only taking like a few physical, product orders here and there. So I was like, I have other people that I could recommend to you, or, if you want something out of acrylic. And his wife does cakes. And I was like, if she needs any like acrylic cake toppers, I was like, if you want any acrylic keychains, I got you for those things, because those I actually enjoy making. I enjoy making the keychains and the cake toppers. I was like, so if you need any of those, holler at me. I was like, but that little business card holder is just not desirable
I'm
to
not
me.
feeling it. Either.
No. I'm going to charge you way more than that is worth, and that is way more than that person on Etsy that you screenshot
Right.
the listing from.
Right.
Like,
And I'm
it's
not
gonna be worth
interested
it.
in stealing
No.
somebody else's idea when you
True.
can just
Right.
reach out to
well,
them.
that I probably would have bought a file, because I think Big
Right.
Big Blue
I was
like
gonna say
made
it's probably- I
a
was
similar.
gonna say it's
yeah.
definitely Big
I think
Blue
it
or
was
something
it was-
similar,
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah. So it was like it's just a lot easier to say no now,
Right.
to only take on jobs I actually like want to do, or something that I can turn into a file that is a file I think will sell well or do well or whatever. So I'm a lot happier now that I've done it.
Right.
But that comes, like we were saying, that's when it comes, it's difficult to do around Christmas.
Right.
Because then it's like all the people who are harder to say no to.
Right. So how's your trip been?
Good.
How you liking Florida?
So far, so good.
It's been a lot
We're
of
leaving
work,
tomorrow.
we were just saying.
Sorry for coughing on everybody. Can't mute myself when I'm
We'll
live.
cut that out of the podcast, but we can't cut it out of the video. No, you can.
Yeah,
Maybe,
not as
but
easy.
syncing it up
Yeah.
would be a nightmare.
It'd be annoying, yeah.
I don't have COVID, I promise.
So, I mean, it's been a lot of work since you got here, though.
I have TikToked more than I've ever have, because I don't TikTok, and I've
right.
done.
Well, it's the
I've been
problem is
behind
being
the
around
I'm
scenes.
saying
Emily.
you haven't even been in the TikToks. You're
No,
just
but I've been hired to produce.
The hired help.
Yeah.
the unpaid hired help.
Right.
So, it's unfortunately always
Right.
unpaid. Although, I mean,
And they're productions.
yeah, they are.
These TikToks have been productions.
Yeah.
So if you've seen them,
Yeah.
just know that it's
That
not
it
a
doesn't-
one take
no.
little video.
Although she did pretty good. Her portions were one take.
One and done.
Yeah, kind of, but I mean, it's still still a production.
Well, and again, the hard part is one person can get it, but when you have 6 people in a video,
Right.
there's going to be someone who fucks it up.
Yeah.
So, with it being videoed, are you going to have to bleep me
No?
on YouTube? Can we curse?
I mean, who knows? We'll find out.
Oh.
This is all a learning, this is all a learning curve. This is all a
I have
learning
to bleep
curve.
out all my coughing.
Right.
I like inhaled my beer or something.
Good job.
Okay.
So, we were going to talk about apps. So, what's your
Yes.
favorite app that you use that ends up turning into laser items or being a part of laser items?
Magic eraser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what do you use that
definitely.
for?
Like the Mr. Clean magic eraser?
No.
Nice. So you just,
Although people do use those a lot.
You just
I would
erase it
say
on the iPad?
it's like the digital equivalent of like
Oh, okay.
the Mr. But it has nothing to do with
Because
that.
Side
I'm,
note,
I'm seeing you
I've
taking
seen-
a real eraser and putting it on the screen, like undo.
I've seen a lot of people mentioning magic eraser and acrylic. Don't.
No.
Just don't.
Oh, like the actual Mr.
Yes.
Clean magic
No,
eraser?
just don't.
It's like
It's a no-no.
It's like sanding it.
What,
Yeah.
what do they use it for?
They're
to
saying
clean it.
clean it.
Oh.
And it's like it.
I mean,
for
I guess
one,
if
the
it's-
chemicals in it,
Right.
and then 2, it's a lot rougher than you think it is.
It's not
Yeah, it's-
chemicals,
it's
it's
like-
magic.
Oh, shut up.
That's what's in it. It's magic, not chemicals.
Don't ruin the magic.
But yeah, so just don't
So
use
do
it
you,
on acrylic.
well, then that begs the question, do you clean your acrylic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like plastic cleaner.
Novus, Novus.
Yes, I am a novice, I know.
Yeah.
So it's Novus Cleaner?
Novus plastic cleaner,
Plastic cleaner.
on Amazon.
It's like a little like I guess you would say like almost like
Spray.
Windex.
Yeah.
Just like a little
But
spray
don't use
bottle.
Windex on
Don't
acrylic
use
either.
Windex. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many rules for
Yeah,
acrylic.
there's this. I literally.
I didn't even know you cleaned
Well, yeah, it gets like
You get, like,
staticky
I would say, or,
and
like,
fingerprints.
stuff.
It
Well,
actually
I
gets.
figure like you could wipe it down with like what is it, the microfiber to get
Which
fingerprints off.
I do that first.
But I didn't know you
but
put
that
like a
doesn't get-
cleaner to like actually
Well,
clean.
so
it.
Novus
depends.
is like anti-static too, so like
Yeah.
it helps a lot with like if you're doing photography on like glossy acrylic.
It doesn't catch.
You don't
like,
realize
all
how
the
dusty
things.
that shit gets until
Yeah.
you're taking a picture and you're like, I see that dust.
Right,
Like,
and then
Right.
you
the
like get
only
that
thing
one
I
off,
see.
and then you take another picture.
or it's the same
and then
one and it just hopped over to another letter.
It does. Totally does
I'm like,
that.
I just moved you.
Right? How did you get here? Yeah. So Novus cleaner, and then so there's 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is like
There are levels to this thing.
yes. So 1 is just like nothing's wrong with it. You're just cleaning it off and getting
Thank
the
you for
static
getting
off. And then 2 is like a mild scratch, like just a just barely on the surface, maybe a tiny one. And then 3 is like a heavier, like deeper damage scratch. So and with that, if you use 3, you go backwards. So you start with 3. And then you 2, and then you finish with 1. Okay. But 1 is the one I use the most, and that's just to get like general fingerprints and stuff off. Okay. But yeah, I literally made a graphic of like what to do because I realized what was happening. Me not knowing how to clean acrylic when I was first making my acrylic signs, I used Windex first and found out very quickly that was not a good idea. And then I used alcohol because you use alcohol on wood. Not a good idea on acrylic because it's like the nemesis to acrylic. And so I was like, okay, so when I'm giving people a sign that they're using for their business, it's going to get dirty because you're packing it up and taking it with you to wherever. And so I'm like, I need to tell them how to take care of this. And then when it turned into like the 4th time that I was like, use this, don't use this, don't use this. And I was like, screw this. I'm not typing this out every time and forgetting one of them or whatever. And so I made like a little graphic that literally says, don't. And now I end up posting that like in the group when people ask like what to use for acrylic and stuff like that. So, but yeah, there's rules that you don't realize until you fuck up a sign, pretty much.
So magic eraser.
Magic eraser.
So magic eraser is like a background eraser.
Okay.
So like if I took a picture of you and like I don't want all the stuff behind you,
Right.
it has features where like it does like an auto where like if there's enough of like if it's portrait mode and it can actually take the depth like into account, it'll remove the background pretty much on its own for you. But then there's a manual part of it where you can go in and kind of like like old school paint, like
Right.
you know what I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
where you can just kind of like drag your finger around.
And is it as precise as like
I can actually,
what is
I'll
it?
show you. I can show you
Oh,
over
right.
here.
But what was that? What am I thinking? Like Photoshop? Like you could zoom in and okay.
Yeah. So that's why I use it for. A lot of people like would use it. Like most people say like Photoshop, and I'm like, I do everything on my phone.
Yeah.
So like I
Right,
use
yeah.
Magic Eraser. I use like an app called Facetune, which is like, have you ever seen Facetune?
Is that the one that
It's for
does
your
like
face.
the creepy every once in a while? Like
No, that's,
we'll make somebody.
that's Remini.
We'll talk about that one.
Somebody else have like a wandering eye. Yeah, we need to talk about that one. But Facetune is like, I think it's what it's meant for is like selfies, like removing blemishes and stuff. So it has a function that's called patch, where like I can go in like with acrylic where there's like a dust speck on acrylic.
Yeah.
I can just mirror like this spot next to it and just patch.
I
like,
do that
like little area.
I do that in PixArt, which that's where
Same. I would say same idea.
I think, what do I use? I use PixArt for like my collages and stuff.
Okay.
If I'm like for my advertising stuff, when I'm like, oh, look at my new files, and I do like a collage of my new files, I do that on PixArt.
So this is, you can't see this, but we're looking at the app. But you can just erase. So like, see how that's like transparent on your bottom left?
I see what you're saying.
Like you can just
Yeah,
trace
it's very
around
much.
like real
It's
quick.
very much like. Oh yeah, it's like art, like paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's just like, you can change it from erase to restore or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Same idea.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's one of my favorites, especially for recipes. Like people that, I forgot that this is magnetic.
So is the stool, so you can't put it there
Yeah,
either.
just
I
don't
just
worry.
turn it
Just kinda
over.
left it. It's fine. What was I just saying? Oh, people that take photos of like recipes. So like if you have like, what I do with recipes on the iPhone, or I guess you could do it on Android, is just adjust it so that like it's like the brightness is up and kind of try and like almost kind of whitewash it out as much as you can. So you
To
can
get rid
bring
of the
out,
lines,
yeah,
usually.
to bring out like the black. And then I'll go into that app and get rid of the white real quick. The only real like annoying part about it is like recipes. Sometimes if there's like a ton of words, sometimes you have to zoom in and literally like if it's white space, you don't have to worry about it because that's not going to engrave. But like if it's anything like that has like an actual background, you have to zoom in like and like between like the loops of the L or the A, you just have to go through and like tap one at a time like to go. So it's a little tedious at times.
Yeah,
But when
depending on
people
what you're
like
using it
drop
for.
stuff in the feed and they're like, hey, can anybody help me with this recipe? Like for me, it's super easy to be like, I can do something quick on my, like it won't be obviously like as precise or like hand traced like in Procreate, but I also don't have to charge you because
Hand trace and
$25
I
for an
can
hour
just
or
do it real
whatever,
quick, and if it works for you, it works for you, and then you don't have to pay anybody.
Right.
So it works out well, but like some of them aren't meant for what we use them for.
Yeah.
It just winds up like that.
Yeah.
I also found that other one called Light Leap. Remember I told you where you can just erase.
You know, it's funny. I just deleted that one off of my phone because I didn't know what it was. I was like, what? No, like literally, like I just went and deleted all of the like stupid pregnancy apps and all that stuff that was on my phone.
Right.
And it was just like, oh, I don't need that app anymore. And I was deleting all these apps that I like didn't use anymore. And I was like, Light Leap. I was like, what did I download that for? And it's probably because you told me about it.
Yeah. It's literally like, so if you're like taking pictures on the beach and there's like people behind you or people like in the water and like you just want a picture of like you on the beach, like Light Leap, you can go in and just swipe over the people and it just like, as long as it's not like
an intricate
super
background.
complicated background.
Yeah, so like if it's like you in front of like the liquor cabinet behind you right now,
Yeah,
like
you're
I would
screwed.
never be able to. 'Cause it would just be like it would just be like a jumbled mess of like pixels.
Yeah.
Like there used to be something here, but now it just looks like an aura of where John once was.
So let's see, what would be my favorite?
InShot.
Yes, InShot is definitely my favorite. So I use InShot.
You were showing Emily that today. weren't
Yes, and so TikTok can be kind of annoying. If like you're pre-recording something, it can be annoying to piece into TikTok because
like editing within the
because
app?
you can't like if you're trying to line it up to a song, the song is like the last thing you do in TikTok. And so you can't like line up your shots with that because you've already done all the editing up until that point.
Right.
So InShot I use for anything that's a video. I used to use this app. I think it's literally called Slideshow. It's weird because it's called something on the thumbnail and
Right.
something else when you go to download it.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't know like what its
What it's
actual
really called.
name is, but it sucks because now every time I go to use it, it crashes.
Oh.
And even with like the updates and stuff, it
Right.
doesn't seem to fix it. I really liked it because when it worked, I could put in like 30 pictures and it would make a quick slideshow. It didn't give me a lot of
Oh, right.
editing.
I think you told me about
it
that
didn't give
one
me a
time.
lot of like editing ability.
But it was quick
But
enough.
it was quick and it did different transitions and like not the same one each time.
Okay.
It made it into a nice looking video and all I had to do was
upload the
throw in the
pictures.
pictures.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that was the best part
Convenience.
about it. Yeah,
Yes.
was because it took me 2 seconds to make a nice like advertising video
Right.
for social media.
My
And then
water-
it started.
My water is growing
coming
a
for
penis
me.
and creeping towards you.
But then it started like crashing on me, and so at that point I had been using InShot for other like longer videos that actually needed recording.
InShot is for me is similar to the TikTok editing functionality too. Like
Yes.
you can piece,
I
you can split
love it.
videos.
Yeah, 'cause you can split it, you
drag
can-
them back and like reorder. Like I made. So for those of you who are following us, my video that we made with John and Crystal, the surprise.
Right,
I
yeah,
did on
InShot.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, the video I made of
The fall.
Cindy, the fall, yeah, of Cindy's Amazon
right,
lady
right,
throwing all of her
sure.
Can we
packages.
please rewind? Can we talk about the fall?
They don't know about the fall, but they will now.
Who doesn't know about the fall? Didn't you post it
The
on the?
podcast?
she
No.
just sent it
You
to
didn't-
me.
Oh,
No, that was
I thought you
I
said
put that on my
publicly.
personal page.
Yeah.
Well, I
It was
just-
public on my personal page.
Oh, well, so many
But-
people have seen the fall.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you guys haven't seen the fall.
They're about
It's
to.
so good. It's so good.
We'll put it up in the group.
right? It's so good because you didn't hurt yourself.
Right.
Yeah, if you had hurt
right.
yourself, it wouldn't
It
have been
wouldn't
as
be good.
funny.
No.
It'd be
Or if
funnier.
you had broken your sunglasses.
They were my son.
They
That's
were
the problem
the
with
regular
these glasses.
prescription,
Okay.
yeah.
my
Yo, you were
prescription.
big man when you started. Yo. So for everyone listening, if you haven't seen this video, John wiped the F
I
out on the
slipped.
driveway.
Yeah.
And
I slipped.
he, during the fall, then disappeared behind the
The
bushes.
bush.
So you don't actually know how
it's
it
a security
ended.
camera.
So
Yeah.
what I said is I would have just crawled off camera before I stood up. But John
honestly,
didn't take that.
I didn't
You
even think about the camera
Until
I took-
afterwards.
until afterwards, yeah. I'm like, oh, you know what? I bet you the camera caught that.
Yeah, it
and then I was like, it's gonna make for a good video. Let me see how bad this fall looks.
And meanwhile, Crystal's already clipping it and turning it into slow mo.
that was actually that was him.
No, because she didn't know I fell.
So
She didn't know I fell.
Well, so he told me he fell,
So I'm
and
like,
then
did
he
you see the
walks
camera?
over.
Did you look at the cameras by chance while I was outside?
I was like, no.
He's like, no, why? I'm like,
and he
then I
walks
pulled
over
it
and
up.
shows it to me,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Did you
I'm gonna
die?
need. I go, I'm gonna need that.
footage.
And he goes, nope. And I was like, because like depending on who added the camera
You might
to
not be
our
able to
account,
download- yeah.
yeah. So like I have
Right.
access to download like
The first
the
three
front
cameras.
the front,
The front
door
of the
camera,
house.
and like he has So like there's know depending on which camera it is, it's who has like the
Well, and
access
then
to the
that camera,
downloadable video.
For some reason, the memory card has only been able to work in that camera. So I was able
Yeah.
to go back and
Okay.
see
Like,
it.
yeah.
The other ones give us like
I'm
alerts.
so glad
Yeah.
that the universe didn't take
Yeah.
that away
Right.
from us.
No, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So what
pretty
I was
good.
saying is when he stands up,
yeah.
he is angry.
'Cause I don't want to
He
look at my
is
glasses because
so
I'm like
mad.
for sure. Like,
because they
all
were in
my
his
weight-
hand
all
because it
my
was
weight
raining.
landed on my hand and my glasses. So I'm like, I know these glasses are broken, and although I do need to get to the eye doctor and get a new prescription,
Yeah.
I'm
But
I
I'm
don't
not
want
trying to
to.
do that
Right.
today.
Right. And then I look down like, oh, they didn't break. Oh, and then I keep going.
Yeah.
You were
Well, to everyone on the video, it looks
Looks
like
like I'm
it's your
looking at
phone.
phone,
Yeah, and
right.
everyone's like, oh, he
Right.
looks at his phone, plays it off, and he's good. But
Right.
well, and, I mean, you played it off way better than I would have.
Oh, I told you.
I would have been.
And
I would have. I would have
for
been
the
down there
record,
for
I was-
several more minutes. For one,
Yeah,
I would have
no,
definitely
actually,
hurt
it depends
something.
because I might have done like the running jog. You know, like when you trip and you
Yeah.
just suddenly I'm
Well, that's
jogging.
true.
No, there was no suddenly you're jogging. If it was
The
suddenly,
ground was wet.
then suddenly I'm taking a nap because I was on the floor. So suddenly I went from
Suddenly
walking to napping.
you're on the log flume.
Yeah,
And
I
if you look,
decided to take a
if
nap.
you look closely, there's some like leaves that like.
Oh, it moves. Yeah, and the bushes move a little. Yeah, for sure. And the problem is that it's like we have tile there.
Yeah,
it's before
it's
the
slippery.
tile meets
I
the
was
asphalt.
wondering what I
And
was
I'm
like. There's
wearing my
no
s-
way you slipped on asphalt.
No.
way.
So it's a whole combination of things. It was raining.
You're walking quick.
I was walking fast, and I was wearing my slides.
Your slides
My
that he wears
slides.
in the house.
Right, because I was on my way
That
out.
everyone that is listening has already gone to the group and has watched this video.
They
It is
Pause.
Pause.
Go watch the video
They're
and come back.
He falls. Wait, Rose watches it. Yeah, and then I send it to Crystal because I don't even have TikTok. So I'm like, you have to put the Oh No song because that's what goes with this video.
And it lined up like perfectly.
Perfect,
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a fall video out there if you're just looking at falling.
But that's what you use
And it's
things for
funny.
InShot for. But now I use InShot to actually make my slideshows because that other app keeps crashing on me, which is more annoying because then I have to shorten them down to like not too long because it uploads them at 5 seconds if it's a photo, and that's a long time if I'm uploading like 30 pictures or 10 pictures or whatever. So I have to like shorten the time of the picture and then add in like the transitions and stuff. But it still makes a really good video, and it's simple from your phone, especially for someone who doesn't really like know what they're doing. You make 1 or 2 videos, and those 2 kind of take you a little bit, and then you know like how to do it, and you're good. And you can do a combo too. You can do like some apps that I've tried to use. You can't do
photo and
videos
video,
and photos, and you can do both in InShot.
That's cool.
And so they have a free version, and then they also have like a monthly paid version as well. I'm
Which
still on
one?
the free.
Okay, I was gonna say which one do you?
I'm on the paid.
She's on the paid, and if,
What's the difference?
If it was a one-time like,
Is there
so
much?
no
see.
watermark.
So is it worth it? Oh, okay, no
It
watermark.
says
I was gonna
InShot
say
in the
it's
bottom
definitely a
right,
watermark.
which
Okay.
technically you could crop out if you really wanted
Right,
to.
right,
Once
right.
you download it, you could crop it out because it's far enough down. I don't remember. Oh, you get more transitions. You get nicer transitions.
Oh, okay.
So there's like basic transitions that are free, and then nicer transitions that are paid. Just more editing.
Yeah, just
Better,
more capable.
more editing,
More
and,
tools
and,
to edit
Yeah, nicer,
with, right.
a little bit nicer tools.
I don't know how much it is because I already have it. So
Oh,
Okay.
right, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I think
I
it's
was
like
asking
a
how
couple.
much.
I think
I
it's
just-
like $4 or $5.
Yeah, a month. Is it monthly?
I think
thing?
so.
Yeah.
Or you can. They usually do like monthly or a year.
It's also $39.99 a year or something like
Yeah,
that.
Oh,
something
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
not bad.
I was gonna say it's
No.
not whatever it is.
And,
It's not terrible.
Well, at first when you go to download it, you're like, oh hell no, I'm not paying that. But
But
then
once you realize, like, how much
how it's
time it-
actually
yeah.
worth it, you're
Right.
like, oh okay, I love the free one. So that's usually when you're like, okay,
I also
and
can't
they
stand
give you a
watermarks.
preview.
Well, that's like
of
the
the paid.
That's like when you came home the other night wanting a Nintendo Switch. And I'm like, I don't know, like it's like $300-400 for it.
Yeah.
But then playing with JR this weekend, playing the Switch, I'm like, I think we might break down and get it. So if anyone's selling us their Nintendo Switch, hit us
Right,
up.
we'll take it.
Let us know in the group.
Yeah.
'Cause we're in the market for a Nintendo
We
Switch.
want one. Well, it started because I went to that
Right.
bar with my sister.
Right, that they had it.
Yeah, and they had they have an arcade.
Like a game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a Switch, and they had the
Mario Kart.
the new Mario Kart, which me and my sister used to play Mario Kart as like kids.
I have Super Nintendo.
And-
Is it the
Yeah.
Mario Kart Deluxe that I was playing?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It was
that
that
one
one.
is pretty cool.
Yeah. But that started the
Yeah.
oh, what is this thing? Because
Yeah.
it wasn't the 64,
Right.
and yeah, so.
I love playing Nintendo 64. Cruising
Yeah.
USA. Cool.
Which
I
one?
don't.
Cruising USA.
Oh yeah,
I
the
remember
car.
playing the arcade, the
Yes,
actual arcade.
yeah.
You
You
would drive
Remember
through the redwood forest.
Yeah, you double tap the gas and it goes.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's
Cruising
see. What is
USA.
my other? For boxes, I use Boxomatic on my phone. That's how I make anything that I've ever made. That's a box for like that you need kerfs and tabs
Oh, okay.
and all that
Okay.
kind of stuff. I don't use it for everything kerf, only for boxes
Boxes.
with tabs. But they have a whole bunch of different like you can make it so that the top is flat, or the top has the tabs, like if you want it to be a box that like never opens, or if you want a lid, if you know, like there's a lot of customization in it, and I'm pretty sure that was free as well, but it makes really good boxes.
So do you create the box? And
So you
then-
create
and
the
then it
box,
gives
you tell
the
it.
settings?
It
No,
gives you
it
the
gives
file.
you the file.
Oh, it gives you the
Yeah.
file. Okay.
So like you put in like how big you want it. You put in like the outside dimensions and the inside dimensions. You can tell it how many tabs you want. So like if you want it to have like 8 tabs along the bottom, or if you want it to be pretty simple and only have 3. Again, you can add if you want it to have a lid. Like you can do a lot.
Of them, like even I don't know if
Boxmatic,
but like boxes.py or whatever the website is. It lets you do like it'll add in living hinges. Like you can do like a bread box kind of a door where it'll
and I don't know. I don't know if Boxmatic does that. I think it's all mostly tabbed. I don't know that it does any of the living hinges ones. But
the paid version does.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know if there's a paid version. At least I haven't noticed it. But that's what I use to make most of my boxes.
Is an app though,
yes,
right? It's not a site.
App on my
the
phone.
other one that I've used,
and I've used that one
boxes
too.
Is it PY boxes?
Yeah, it's some weird.
It's definitely because it's like Festy.
Yes,
Festy dot
that
whatever.
One. Yeah,
We'll put them all in the group. It's a text shortcut on my phone, so I don't ever have to remember. It's like Lobo boxes.
We've talked about her. That's another. It's not an app, but it's a shortcut. She does everything. Like if
it's something folder in your phone.
Well, so on the iPhone, there's a text shortcuts.
Okay.
And your face says you don't know.
No,
what
I don't
that.
know.
So like if I type that. That's what it'll actually type.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So all of the info.
So like, what's one example for people who are listening?
What do you type it in?
It's texting on Facebook, anywhere.
Oh, okay. So if you want to like tag it, you just tag that. You just
So like when I was doing watch bands, and everyone would ask what paint pens I use. So I type PP. Right. And the link to the Amazon paint pens comes up.
Okay.
Like I'll do like for like the classified post, like I'll do like Lobo classified. There we go. There it is. And it'll type out this whole.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
So that I don't have to type that the whole time. Right. But I do that with like. I have it for like all of our site links, all of our group links. Like anything that like people have asked frequently.
Podcast advertisement, it's like all written out because I mean
replies to Etsy buyers.
Yeah. But it helps because for me, I'll forget something. Right. I'll like type it all. I'll type it all out, or I won't want to, and I'll get lazy, and then I get a bunch of questions. Or it actually like gives all of the information that I want people to know because I've already like put it all
in there. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to put that for our photo release at work because I have the release in my notepad.
In your notes and copy and paste. That's what I used to do before.
But if I just have to do like if I just do pics, and then send that, that's nice shortcut.
So that's a little.
The more you know.
Little hack. Is that how you say it?
There goes the star with the rainbow behind it.
The more you know.
I'm trying to see what my other. Oh, come on.
You're trying to figure out what else
quiet.
we use.
Yeah, right.
Because you're searching for something, everything goes quiet. So do you want to talk about your food ventures while you're in Florida and how you've been starving because nothing's been open or have food or?
It's just everywhere we go, it's out of food. Yeah. That's fun.
Those are most of mine that I use actually. Because I use InShot. I take one I use iWatermark. I use
everything.
iWatermark Plus. So that's also a paid version. They have iWatermark, which is the free version. And then I did the paid version because I started having to do 2 watermarks for my digital files. So normally it was just one, and it was the Riley Black watermark on all my pictures. Well, when all the people were buying my digital files thinking they were physical products, I had to add a second watermark that says laser file.
Very aware of how.
Yes, it's been amazing.
If you've been listening to the podcast, you know the deal.
So I bought the paid version so that I could do two watermarks. And
I use Textorama, and Textorama does let you do. You can just keep going. It also helps you. It lets you add like generic text, like stuff like that.
I'll have to download that one and see which one I like better.
It's a little bit annoying with the like if you have to do like like if I have like 30 things to watermark, I guess. I'm trying not to make noise with this.
No, I'm not laughing at you. It sounds like Bud is telling you to shh.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's hushing the baby.
Oh, there's a major head bob going because he's hungry.
Oh, he's starving.
I
Guess
was
we better
gonna
wrap
say he's
this up.
definitely starving. Look at him. He's so mad.
Just go for it. Pop it.
Bud's like, I can't breastfeed him. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's the only thing I can't do.
You don't want me to.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was talking about. What was I saying?
The
Textorama.
Yeah.
Oh, if you have like 30 pictures to watermark, it's not like I can upload 30 pictures and drop my watermark on there. Like, you know how mine, I like to like individually
I put
place
them.
my,
you can do this one too. You can like batch watermark.
There's no
but
batch
I
on
don't.
mine, yeah.
I don't batch watermark because I specifically like.
I always want it to be
not.
hidden, but not. Yeah, like I want them to know that it's there, but I don't
Right.
want it to be distracting.
Yeah, like,
and
oh,
I
look
don't
at my
want people to
watermark.
think that I brand my stuff. Like you remember,
yeah.
somebody was like on my, I forget who it was.
Does that
Somebody
come
in
with the
Go, I
logo?
think, was like,
No.
Don't your customers complain that you put such a large logo on the front of their sign? I was like, yeah, that's not on. It was like a memorial plaque of somebody's like dead grandfather, and I'm like,
Lobo
brought to you by Lobo Designs.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think those are the only apps I really use as far as my phone goes. Besides, I mean, like Shopify and all the social media apps. But Shopify is what we both use for our website.
The free, the standard like $29 a month, and then I have we both have the same theme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The free one.
The free one.
Debut,
Yeah, we don't.
I think it's called.
I don't pay anything.
Yeah.
I didn't pay anybody to build. They're pretty easy because I know that's a question I get a lot is on Shopify. Like, was it terrible?
Oh,
like, was
right.
it terrible
There's a lot of
setting
paid,
everything up?
like
do you need
apps
somebody?
and
Yeah,
stuff
like,
that
do
you
I
can
have
add.
to hire somebody?
Yeah. He's like,
Just
feed me now.
you can bring him over here,
Yeah.
Right.
baby. And we're live, so now you can be on the podcast.
Hi.
Oh, he's been on.
Little.
Oh, sorry. Floppy head.
Not on video.
Hey, baby.
Oh, no, not on video.
No.
So this is Jackson for everyone watching on YouTube's.
Hi, little grumpy. Are you
know.
so hungry? Say, stop giving me that big. Say,
We're
don't
almost-
want that big.
We're almost done.
We're almost done, buddy.
Yeah. So then real quickly we'll talk about Procreate.
Yes.
So that's as far as that's not like I guess it is an app. It's on our iPad.
Technically, iPad app.
And
If
it's how we
you
draw.
will not find it on your iPhone app store.
Right.
So
Well,
if you are
there's
looking, there's Procreate Pocket.
Yeah.
But the Procreate for iPad version will only be on your iPad app store. You won't see it on, and it's a black icon with like the Procreate logo, which is like kind of like a pinkish, like
Pink, blue,
swirly,
and something.
like,
Yeah.
But Procreate,
Oh, that's where you do your design.
that's where I do
Like,
all of my designs.
almost 100% of.
So that's what I use for hand lettering. That's what I use for drawing. Crystal as well.
Yep. The rare
and,
occurrence I need single line, I still use graphic, but that's only because I haven't done a single line design lately.
Right.
And for that, I'll probably end up doing AI for the iPad now that that's out. Because that's new.
Newish. October last year they released beta, and then I think at the end, or no, last summer they put me in beta, and then October
Is that Illustrator?
they dropped it. Yes.
Adobe Illustrator.
Adobe Illustrator, yeah. They've finally released an iPad version, which is like a limited, it's like a dulled down version of their desktop. It doesn't have as many features, but it does still have a ton of them. And for single line drawings and stuff like that, which isn't a capability. Repeat is not a capability in Procreate.
The most common question she gets in her Glow Create group.
She came through very
She came in
clear
hot,
and
like, hello.
And I'm
enunciated.
closer to the mic now.
That was the AM.
Do not use Procreate for single line designs.
It's not
Thank you.
possible. It's not.
the AM.
When you
You
trace
just
it,
can't.
you'll always have to.
What is
You
it?
will hate yourself
AMSR or
for
whatever.
trying. Don't do it.
They do not use it.
Jackson's like, I'm hungry, ma.
Right?
Okay.
Wrap
Look at
this
him.
up.
Look at his side eye.
Let's wrap it up.
He's like, do you not see
So
me?
what are
Maybe
your?
we're all
So
done.
my Procreate, what we wanted to focus on, obviously everybody knows that I use Procreate at this point, but we wanted to focus on our favorite like hacks
Things,
or
yeah.
things about Procreate. So my favorite things about Procreate are the hand gestures, where you can the standard is
double tapping
like
and-
to 2-finger tap is undo, 3-finger tap is redo. You can scrub the screen if you kind of do like a Z formation with 3 fingers. These are the defaults, but then if you go into the settings, which off the top of my head, it's in the question mark. Is that what it is? It's in the help, and then you go into gestures, and is that what, I can't remember what the actual title of it is, but in the gesture controls you can change it. So if you want your 3-finger to be your undo, like if it's something that's like entirely like different to how
So
like
that would be good for me because there's always something, I don't know what it is until I do it, but there's something that I'm attempting to do that does something else. So that's when I just want to,
It's
no matter
probably just
how
set
much
that way,
I want, double tapping to be redo or whatever, it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So it would be good for like when you're like, oh, why do I keep doing that? Then you can change it to
Yes.
yeah, that's good to know.
and that's what I'm trying to think. Those are the 3 that I know are actual, like the scrub, the undo, redo. But like there are so many controls in there that you can go in and. Oh, the only thing you have to be mindful of is you can't double set a gesture, obviously. So
right. So it can't be
if
2
you
things,
wanted to change undo to like the scrub, you would then have to go in and change scrub to something else because otherwise you're just confusing. Yeah. And it is, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it is smart enough to tell you that you're using this one somewhere else.
Right.
So it'll say like,
Yeah.
I think it might just turn off in the
other
other
one.
like it's just sliders.
So, and then press and hold will straighten out.
Yes, and the quick art. So or the quick shapes, whatever they're
Yeah,
called.
that one I didn't know about until I saw you do it in some tutorial, and I was like, "What is this sorcery?" Because like attempting to do a circle or a
perfect
square it's impossible.
Right.
Like to do it like perfect, and so I saw her like because I could. I'd draw the circle and then I press and hold and it would make it so it's a clean line,
right.
but it wasn't a perfect circle.
It's like it's just like
And
an
so
ellipse or an oval.
You press and hold on the screen and now it's
a perfect circle.
Yeah.
Circle.
And I'm
Or
like,
if it's a square,
A perfect
like
square.
it's a
Or
perfect square.
rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes with I think it's rectangles, unless it's. I think it's rectangles where you get the other options at the top where you can change it from rectangle to square to rectangle. Like if you were close.
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see it. So when you release, so you'll draw the circle and it'll connect.
Yeah.
And then when you release, before you deselect, there's you'll see it. Now that I mention it, you'll notice it. It pops up at the top and it'll say
right, the
additional
little
options or
gray
something.
bar
Yes.
at the top. Yeah.
It doesn't always pop up if you I think with circles it doesn't pop up because there's no other option.
Right. Yeah.
But if there is an option to present, it'll
Yeah.
pop up there and you can kind of
Good to know. I
tweak
didn't
it
know
from
about
there.
that one. Those are your favorites from.
Those are definitely my top 2 because that's
Yeah.
the gestures are definitely my 100% my favorite because
Yeah.
convenience,
Well,
time.
that's what every time you do an AI tutorial, she's always like, command this, command that. Like she's like a shortcut
yeah.
guru. I mean, well, yeah, that's
Time.
what we
It
learned from
it
Heather on this
it makes you
podcast.
fast. It makes you
Shortcuts
fast.
in the phone, shortcuts on AI, shortcuts on Procreate.
I mean, I have my set.
I've
shortcuts in my
seen you
editing.
edit. Yeah,
You've seen me edit.
Yeah,
and it's like
all this tappy
yeah.
tappy tappy
because
tappy,
it,
tappy.
Because
I work in IT. A mouse is annoying to me. If I, you know what I mean. It interrupts what I'm
Right.
doing. So if
Yeah.
I can't just
Yeah.
continue on,
I've even went and bought one of those floating mouses, where it was just a trackball.
Yeah.
Thinking it'd make my editing faster, and I'm like, no, I had to return
Yeah,
it because
you gotta go back to it.
I
It
go back to
doesn't.
the shortcuts.
you always get
But
back
yeah.
to shortcuts.
Yeah.
Time saving. And that's what I try and like you said, when I'm doing any kind of tutorial, what I'm doing, you're
Yeah.
gonna hear that's maybe that's not how you work. So I'll
Right.
give you this is how.
Yeah, she does
this is-
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No one can edit. Unfortunately, no one can edit on my computer from work because I
'cause
go
you've
in
changed
and
them?
I remap. I
Everything,
remap all the
yeah.
shortcuts to my shortcuts because I've been editing this way for so many years.
That needs to be like that, yeah.
That it's like, you know what? It's going to be easier for me to find out how to remap it than to learn all the new shortcuts.
Commands, right.
So I go in, I remap it, and now I can edit back the way So I give it to somebody like, oh, so E is to drop down, this is to override, this is to ripple effect.
Never mind, just give me my computer.
Yeah, I'm like, it's going to be a lot easier if you just do it on yours.
Right.
I don't know what shortcuts you use.
Please don't touch my shit. Thanks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I can't edit. Why can't I edit with John's computer? And he remaps his shortcuts.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other like apps or like quick hacks.
No, I
we
think that I
use.
would say those are like my top.
Yeah.
I use like an app sometimes to blur backgrounds. It's called, I'll tell you in one moment. But that's like more for like social, you know what I mean? Like social media
right,
posts and
yeah.
stuff like that. It wouldn't be for
But I mean,
like
that
the
all
laser
goes
design.
into it.
But that
though.
goes
It's
into
like-
it too because
Yeah.
It's called
It's
Blur
just-
Photo. It's
yeah,
very
there's-
adequately named.
I don't know what the app is called to blur the
It's to blur,
photos.
yes.
Oh, it's called to blur
it's
photos.
called Blur Photo.
There you go. What's that app I use to take pictures? Oh, that's right, the camera function on my phone. That's my.
I mean, I do use portrait mode to take most of my pictures in natural light in front of the bush that John
In front of the-
that you'll see in the video that John fell on. Look how that came full circle.
Kind of. I fell on the opposite end of where you take the
Yes,
pictures.
but no.
But-
Now I have to take them there because you
Because
screwed
you
up the
hacked,
other one.
I was saying, 'cause you
true.
hacked
Yeah, we're
away
talking
her
about
original
hacks.
spot.
This
Yeah.
guy, I was like, babe,
While we're
could you
talking about hacks
could
and
you trim
bushes.
could you trim the bush, not my bush,
Not the concrete,
the
thanks.
the bush that is peeking in my pictures, and he brings up the weed whacker
And
to
weed
trim
whacks
it,
the
Hedge trimmer. No,
concrete.
the hedge trimmer.
hedge trimmer, and trims the
hedge.
concrete.
The concrete.
And there's a whole these circle. I go to take pictures the next day, and I'm like, oh, it's not all overgrown anymore. We're good. And then I see all these like literally circular marks, and I sent him a picture with like a straight face, like.
We told you it looked distressed. You're like, I'm not buying it.
I was like,
You
what?
fucked up my
And
picture.
he goes,
What's
did I
wrong?
trim it too much? And I'm like,
Did
yeah,
not even see the
the
hacks.
concrete.
When she sent me the picture, I'm like, I can't win for anything. She tells me to trim it, now it's too much. And
That's why I remember she sent me a screenshot. She's like,
so
he legit
mad.
asked me if he trimmed too much. I think I didn't notice. But
No, you noticed. I'm pretty sure.
I thought I didn't know. And you were like the concrete, and I was like, oh yikes.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, you're overgrown bush
that's
is
when
gone.
you said, yeah. That's when she goes, it's distressed. And I tried to tell myself because it was distressed before. It was distressed perfectly fine. And then now it's distressed
More.
in a
She was like,
circular
no,
motion.
she was like, it's not distressed because these are circles. There are circles.
Like, I tried to take a picture of a sign.
I'll fix the circles next time. Don't worry.
No.
Let's go in.
Just go do the other opposite way.
I mean, you might as well at this point. We're gonna have to repaint it anyway. I know I knee bounced him to sleep to buy us a little bit more time.
I saw his eyes roll back to the back
Oh,
of the,
he rolls
She
his eyes
vibrated the
all
baby to
time.
sleep.
Right.
You're not hungry, you're just tired. That's how we save on formula, people.
Yeah, right. I mean, sometimes he is. Sometimes he legit is.
Sometimes he just
tired,
doesn't know
but-
that. Yeah, he
Yeah.
just wants to go to bed.
Yeah, no, because he eats for like 5 minutes and then like
Yeah, and then
tops
falls
off.
asleep or whatever. But so it's super corny, but a laser hack is to find you a laser friend or a laser bestie. As we saw, I mean, so Emily was noticing, I mean, this weekend when we all met up 14 times, how important it is to have those friends who, one, know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
know like what you're going through with like either the project or motivation or how to do something or customers or
I mean,
just
and
having
also
someone else
gives you
or,
gives
know.
you like a fresh pair of eyes and a different
Yeah.
like way of thinking. Like
Yeah.
you're going about this like the super hard way. Why don't you go this way?
Oh, I can't tell you how many
instead?
times
And you're
she's
like,
told me that,
oh,
and
yeah.
I'm sure I've done it to her
Right,
and the opposite. Yeah. So it makes a huge difference, and we all. It's so crazy how many of there was us today at the brunch? 6.
6.
And
6,
Bree
yes.
would have been there, and that would have been
Right.
7. I mean, there's a couple. Mindy had another friend named Rachel. I think she lives in another part of Florida, and that's probably why she wasn't there. But even if you had us all in the same room, we all do different stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Emily
same,
has
I'm
her
different.
thing.
Yeah, like, it's
but
like we're all,
and you and I
we all
are
have our own niche.
you and I are very similar, and so much so that like we've shared. Last Christmas we were both gonna do a Christmas design, and then we ended up having to
a free
do
one
a free
for the
one.
group, yeah.
And they were the same thing.
We both drew the same damn
but
thing and we didn't
different.
even know it.
And like, so I was like, I drew a holly leaf the other day, and she was like, really? And then she had drawn one, and they were both.
They were legit.
I mean, how many
and
times
and
can
then she's
you-
like, oh, and
yeah.
instead of just this one, she's like, I flipped it around and I did it. And I was like, oh,
I
did
did
you
it,
really?
like,
And I sent her a
up and
picture and I
down.
was like, so did I.
But they
like,
were
of course
still,
she did.
but they were still different.
Right.
Like we have, like even though her and I will have the same, literally the same idea, it'll look
Right.
different. And we'll tell each other, don't show me yours, because then you'll ruin what's
Right.
in
Yeah.
my head.
Right.
Or if I don't have something
That's
in my
big
head
for us.
now,
Like, we'll be like,
'cause,
we won't
so
flat out
I
be like,
can't-
don't show me.
I
Do
can't
not.
tell you until either you're not going to draw it anymore, or you've already drawn yours.
So
That's
have
like
you
when we
guys-
went did the fruit slices,
Yes.
remember? And I was like, yeah, you got. You were
Yeah.
like, are you gonna draw? And I was like, nah, you got that.
I know, because I was like, oh, that's
We both
what I was
came up
going to
with
do
the
too.
idea that we were gonna draw fruit slices, and
Yep.
she was like, I was gonna do that too. I was like, all right, that's all yours. That's all yours.
I'm like, but I really wanted to draw it, and I was like, can I draw it? And she's like, yeah, it's yours. You take it. And I was like, okay, good, because I didn't want to like.
So do
take
you
it.
guys draw it the same sometimes?
No,
No.
that's the thing. Like,
And like we don't even use
did-
the same like with the holly leaves. Like I used my mono brush.
Yeah, I
you
used a
used a
different
regular brush,
brush.
that had
Mhm.
pressure
Yeah,
sensitivity.
I think so, yeah.
Sensitivity. Like
Sensitivity.
who are you?
Well, and I mean, for Halloween, her pumpkin was completely different. We both drew bat earrings. Her bat
Totally
was
different,
completely
yeah.
different. Like we did a spider and spider web, and the spiders like. So we have the same like.
Concepts.
Yeah, same concepts, but we draw them
But
like
executed differently.
Yeah, and they're
Which is
they're probably
like the
similar.
same. I'm
in
gonna
a
say like
sense.
kind of similar. Like we said, same
I mean,
idea.
yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
You're drawing,
But it's-
you're drawing a bat
It's
or
cool
a
because then
pumpkin.
like buyers that come to like there would be people that would be like, oh, like
I
I'll
also
buy Crystal
like
and Heather's because
yes.
then I have like a variety,
Yeah.
like which is cool. Like
Yeah.
Emily
They're
might have a
similar
set, like
enough
they're all
that, like-
different enough that like you could start
Yeah,
like a
'cause-
collection
Because
mixed
there's
up
probably
with
some
different
pumpkin
designers.
earrings that I'm like, ooh, no, that's not my style. Like more of the like, I don't know what it would be. I don't even know what you call our style, but like we're not really like farmhousey or anything like that necessarily. But you know, someone else could like. There's some pumpkins that I'd be like, that's not me.
Right.
And so they're similar enough that someone would be interested in both, but get something different
Right.
from us. Which is, I'm still waiting for the day that like they look exactly
Yeah.
the same. It's gonna happen.
Yes,
But it just hasn't happened yet, thankfully.
Oh, well, now because
Right.
you guys met in person.
It's true. Well, then
they said it out
she
loud.
has it in her. Well, then we can do a battle of whose will sell the better, the best.
The better.
And then I might lose, but you're like pacifier wasted. Cute. Yeah, I think that's.
We did it.
That's
Yeah.
it. All right.
Look at us.
You'll definitely have to come back again.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
fun, and
Super
we'll work
fun.
less next time.
Did
Drink
we,
more,
did we work?
maybe.
Hang out
I mean,
more.
so that's a good thing is that the working was, it was like fun
Fun,
working.
right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing you guys get together is a lot like when you get a room full of photographers or
Yeah,
TV people
exactly,
together.
'cause then you're just
we all
talking
end up
about-
talking shop anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about different,
Right.
just things where people from the outside are like, oh, there they go again.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like me with my teacher friends back home, it was so
Right.
annoying to
Yeah,
go
they all talk about
to
their kids
lunch or dinner with
and their
Denise and
different
Shaw's,
schools, right.
Because then it was talking about kids and grading papers
Right.
and all that bullshit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't.
You can't relate.
No.
Yeah.
So then you're sitting there like.
Man. So. All right. Well, that's well. Everyone knows where to find Lobo Designs
Yes.
and
on
where to find
Etsy.
us. And this podcast, the video version, will be up on YouTube.
Yes.
I'm sure you're going to share the link in the group.
Yeah, of
And
course.
everything. So.
And join the Facebook group if you're not already. There's a couple people who, because we're totally bad about plugging all that stuff. There's someone last week who has been like a listener who didn't know that we also had a
Facebook group?
Yeah.
Okay. So. What's the Facebook group?
The Riley Black Project.
Riley Black. She runs
Yep.
it. Not
I
me,
don't know
clearly.
who thought of the name.
Of the Facebook group?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're now on Instagram.
Oh, we're on the gram now.
Yeah, we only have like
Okay.
50 followers, but
That's
you
why
gotta
we
love it
start
when people
somewhere.
go
That's why we say it.
sorry.
That's
Don't
why
drop
we
your
say
baby.
it on the podcast so that
Whiplash.
they can go and
Yeah,
follow.
his face was like, Ma.
Right?
Yo, Ma.
Mom of the
here he goes
year.
again.
And with that, that's been another great episode.
Like, if
of
you
the
heard
Riley
that
Black
thud, it was
Project.
Jackson's head. No.
Mom win.
Well, that has been another great episode of the Riley Black Project. Our first one with
The one and only.
our real life guest, and our first video one. So
Heyo.
it has been a really great podcast. See you guys later.
Bye.
Later.